Which side do you take? Your entire future life depends on it. Two diametrically different paths. Most probably only one will work for you, but you have to go through both. I'm talking about the choice to be employed and develop your career, or create your own business investing years of effort in it. Yes, the majority will immediately answer that they'll choose a business, but do you know what lies behind this choice? Growing your business is harder than you think. On the other hand, isn't it tough to work all your life for somebody else, realizing that someone is buying your time? Everyone makes their choice, and in this video I'll tell you about mine. As usually, let's start with the life story. I already told you how I made my first business plan, so that time I was in Montenegro and just completed reading the biography of Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson. I was maybe 14 years old, I don't remember exactly, to be honest. But that was the very time when the business wing caught the fire in me. It was more serious than renting a video game console, and by the way, I'm talking about the story in my previous episode, check it after this one. So I started to think about the strategy of development. At that time I had no experience in such matters, and of course I idealized this way. I was sure that the road would be straight and sunny. I didn't think about defeats, losses, uncertainty and so on. Immediately after, I rebuilt my mind on the idea of developing my own business. I stopped wanting to work on hire. What can I say today? Well, I'm grateful for all my experience. It was very useful to be in the role of employee as well. Working in startups, I was able to see how they are created from the inside. It's very important to know when you're developing your own business. So, any experience is needed. The main thing here is to understand in time what exactly you want and not to delay with the first step. And now I want to share my 3 thoughts on this topic: business or employment. First, by developing your business, you think more freely and are not limited. This heights enhances and potential, but at the same time increases your responsibility and the chance of losing money and time. I'm talking about the fact that when you're employed by a company, from your first day, in 90% of cases, you'll be helped to develop in the right direction. Most likely you'll have a lead or at least some more experienced team members who will always advise you what to do. Of course, unless you are a super rare specialist. But in this case, the situation is different. You will be kept within the limits that you don't have to cross in order to stay focused on your main task. As for me, I just don't like any kind of restrictions. And what's very important, it's unlikely that working in a normal company you will lose your money. Agree? When developing your business, everything works in a completely different way. Only mentors can teach you, but there is no guarantee that you will have them. All responsibility for the future of the company will be on you. You're the leader, you make all the strategic decisions. Any wrong step will lead to loss of time and of course to financial losses as well, so you have to be prepared for this. And yes, you also have to keep in mind all the other threats and potential difficulties, because you can lose your capital, especially in the very beginning. If during the employment the main thing that's required is just to master some list of certain skills and have the willingness to work, in this case, if you're a businessman, you have to analyze each of your steps before making it. Yes, of course you think more freely when you create your own business. There is no one above you and the main decision maker is you. Moreover, you yourself create the framework and rules for employees, but everything has its downside. Decide for yourself. Personally, I have always been attracted to great opportunities even if they come with increased risk. I'm not afraid to fall, but I'm scared to stop moving, so I choose to use the experience I've gained from my job to grow my business. And from here we come to my next thought. Working for hire, you narrow the funnel of gained experience. When you get a new job in a company or startup, you almost always decrease the area of your responsibility. You mainly concentrate on one thing: software development, marketing, consulting, something else. All of these areas, they are very interesting, very promising, but they make your focus more narrow. You begin to develop in one direction without thinking about other areas that the business owner faces. Working on a legal department, you don't need to think about the strategy of the company and its brand. You have a job and you do it. Again, this is both a strength and a weakness. You become good at one thing. Having a hard skill that can bring you money, you can create a system around it and of course take care of your business. I stick to the concept that by doing pretty much anything, I accumulate more experience and charge to push it in the right direction. It's very important to understand how exactly it will help you, so not to waste your time. Any businessman expands the funnel of experience due to the fact that he is responsible for everything at the same time. When you have your own company, it's mandatory for you to understand brand building, legal side, management, and much more. Having walked the path that brought me here, I can say that your success in business will be dictated by your way of thinking. Almost in 100% of cases, it develops as you make mistakes, as you work on yourself and develop your skills. It's extremely rare when people have an innate businessman mindset. It's more like exception, not the rule. Therefore, sometimes the best strategy is to narrow your focus first to mastering some crucially important skills, and only after that making something on your own. Third, completely different prospects open up for a businessman than for an employee. The very expanded experience funnel that I just talked about leads to an increase in your capabilities. I mean the change in mindset, new contacts among other entrepreneurs, perspectives for years to come. Having built a solid structure, you can think about the expansion, about hiring new employees or selling your business maybe. Talking about the financial side, of course, the owner of the successful company earns much more than anybody else in it. If you develop your brand for many years without giving up, you'll see one interesting pattern. The more you work on your business, the more confident you are in its bright future. You develop what exists thanks to you and your efforts. This is a part of you. You can set much longer-term goals. Playing horizons are greatly increased. Previously closed doors are open for a successful entrepreneur. A lot of new contacts are also available for him. The perspectives of an employee and the business owner are completely different. You need to understand this. So, it's not only about money, it's about way of thinking and realizing what comes after. Everyone chooses their own path by their own. In my case, I chose the symbiosis of two approaches. I managed to work in startups and create my own projects. I choose to develop my business using the skills I've earned through my employment. You may have a different approach, but this is what works for me personally. Guys, thank you so much for watching my videos, for checking my content on a regular basis. At least I hope that you do this, or you will do this in the future. If you found this video useful, give me your like. If you didn't, give me your dislike. Write in the comments below what do you think about this episode, and see you in the day after tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys.